What's going on, guys? Politics Gaming here, and today we are doing a new series. We are going to be playing Hearts of Iron 4. Hearts of Iron 4 is a World War II game in which you play as any country in the world, such as the United Kingdom, the Soviet Union, the British Raj, United States, Canada, and so on and so forth. And so basically what we are going to be doing, this is basically kind of going to be a setup episode. So what we are going to be doing here, we are going to be researching and setting up a few things in preparation for the years that we are going to be facing ahead of us. So we're going to be researching weapons. It's about 2 years away. Let's go ahead and get some tanks. We're going to go ahead and research the Matilda tank, and then the last two we're going to be using for we actually already have electrical mechanical engineering, and we also have mechanical computing, and then we are going to go over here and research production, and actually we're going to replace that with construction. And we have free civilian factories. We have a lot of room all over the world in which we can build some factories. So we are going to be doing that. We're definitely going to be building some civilian factories, and we are definitely going to be concentrating them in the north so they will not be bombed out by German bombers. And we're also going to place one in Wales as well. You know what, I actually just saw that those were military factories. We're actually going to be reducing those. We're not in exact need for military factories as of yet, but we are definitely going to be building some more. Actually, we could have just, you know what, here, just blah blah blah. Okay, Scotland is completely, so we're going to be concentrating our military factories in these areas now. And for some support, we're going to be creating some forts. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's do it all over in Cornwall. Some British defenses. And build them all the way over there. So we have sea defenses that are stretching from the bottom of the country all the way up to central Yorkshire. I'm gonna go ahead and build some land forts too, and then we're going to be concentrating them in the greater London area. Definitely going to be concentrating on some regular support, and I think we can only, that's as far as we can upgrade our radar, but we are going to be building some anti-aircraft guns. And we're going to be placing them in this area as well. We can also build some radar in these areas as well. We may put some in the Sinai, or actually, yeah, let's go ahead and put them in Alexandria and then also Cyprus. Air bases, we're going to go ahead and upgrade ours in Cyprus. We already have, we can place 600 planes actually in the Alexandria. And since we're actually going to be going to war, we're definitely going to be concentrating some defenses in against Italy, because I've already established that we're not going to be playing, well, actually, no, I haven't exactly established it yet. But basically what we are going to be doing is that we are going to be playing historically, and we are going to be fighting Germany. We are not going to be turning fascist, and we are not going to invade France or something like that. I think my first gameplay is going to be in which that we play regularly. So we're going to go ahead and play this. We're going to go ahead and actually go in for a national focus as well. Courage colonial elite. Limited armament. Reinforce the empire and home defense. I think we're going to go ahead and go for home defense so we can get some more recruitable population, because we are definitely in a shortage because of this one right here, the war to end all wars, because the British are still reeling from World War I, and they are not wanting to start another war. Volunteer only. We're definitely going to be putting in someone in so we can get some more political power. And actually, we just lost that. Gain spirit now. Edward the VIII. King George V has died. And this is actually going to be very, very short-lived, because Edward VIII actually only served for a little bit, and then he was taken over by George VI. We actually have some long-range bombers in there, and we have the number 8th Squadron of the Royal Air Force, which carries Armstrong Whitworth Whitley's. We have some free dockyards as well. We definitely do not need several lines that are not being completed to be producing these destroyers. Amphibian class. I think there may be a possibility that we are going to be concentrating some troops into France, because France has it completely covered, in which they will defend this entire area, the Alsace region of their area, because that is what is known as the Maginot Line, in which the Maginot Line was actually a string of defensive forts and defenses that the French had along the German border, which was nearly impenetrable. And even in the game, it is nearly impenetrable. You cannot get through there. So you are almost forced, unless you put some paratroopers like strategically around the Lorraine region, you would actually be forced to research the around. You would have to go through the Benelux region, which is the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg. Which actually, what happened in real life was that the French did not think they needed to cover this area right here. So what the Germans did was actually they like shot through this area right in here through Luxembourg, and then came in, and then from this area right here actually surrounded the French. And that ultimately actually led to the Dunkirk evacuation. So, we are going to be playing this, and we're going to go ahead and continue to skip. I think we're going to go ahead and also create an army as well. So we're going to create an army. We're going to call this call that the Home Islands. And then we're also going to name our theater name that as well, the Home Islands, and then we can go ahead and change that name if or when war breaks out. So we're going to go ahead and go on to the next. So actually we can't do that. More than 20% world tension. So we're going to go ahead and start researching Reinforce the Empire. I think there may be we may end up invading Iraq or Iran because they do actually have a lot of oil that we can use. Most importantly, to keep the Russians out of that area, because the Russians would definitely want to invade through there, because they also actually have national focuses in which actually they can do that, which is actually called the Southern Thrust, which is over here actually. Yeah, right here. And then that gives them a conquer roll against Afghanistan, Iraq, and Iran. So actually, do we have a... Okay, we're going to play that so I can keep going. Do we actually have a national focus in which we can actually invade them and get a conquer roll against them? Peninsular War, Sanction Japan, Air Defenses, Indian Independence. Balkan Strategy. Secure Iran, here we go, yeah, we actually have those. So if we can get... Okay, the Spanish Civil War is just broken out. We do not want to get involved because it is either communist or fascist, and we have no allies in that region. Spanish Civil War. So we're going to go ahead and actually concentrate on getting these right here. So we're going to go after the Mediterranean Bastion, and then we're definitely going to be securing Iraq and Iran. We are not going to go as far as going to war with the Soviet Union unless we actually have to. Unless they take Germany out or something like that, and then we definitely go to war with them. Looks like the Germans have remilitarized the Rhineland, so we are going to go ahead and protest that, and then we are also service overseas. So we're doing that. Edward VIII. So he stayed in until December of 1936, and then he gave up the crown. And after he gave up the crown, he actually gave the crown to his brother, George VI, and then George VI died in 1953, and then after that, Elizabeth II took over, and that is who we have currently today, is Queen Elizabeth II, not the sixth. We're going to be dispersed industry, since I usually go for concentrated industry, but since we are going to be within range of German bombings, we are definitely going to be concentrating on dispersing that industry. And then we're going to go after synthetic oil, since we do want to be increasing our layways to enemy divisions. So none of these are actually yeah, we're not going to be concentrating on strategic bombers. We definitely going to be researching them so we can bomb the hell out of everyone. But I think tactical bombers are going to be the middleman of what we're going to be doing. So we're going to research that, and then we're going to come over here and start building some Matildas. We definitely need tanks. We definitely need to modernize our army before 1939, in which we will go to war. Um, we're definitely going to be wanting to concentrate on this area. We're definitely going to be playing a defensive war in this area. Because the Japanese are going to be in China. Yes, they are. But I've always seen them get bogged down or even defeated in China. So if the Chinese can hold them off, then we can actually definitely rely on them to keep their ground forces occupied, so they do not go after our possessions in Malaya, and we can rely on the Australians as well, and then we can definitely position some troops and bombers in this area, and whenever the Japanese do start coming in through the Dutch East Indies, or in these areas over here, I think the only time we're ever going to get offensive is when the Japanese really start accelerating toward us, and then we can adopt the American strategy of island hopping, in which the Americans during the war would take one island, take the island, hop to the next island, and then the next, and the next, and the next. And then as far as that we can go, I think once we get the Germans defeated, we could definitely invade mainland Japan. But it all really depends on how the Chinese react to Japanese aggression. Turkey could possibly be a beneficial ally that we can rely on. So I think we're going to go ahead and start boosting our popularity over there, in which they will start, and then we're definitely going to be getting a silent workhorse, in which we're going to get more political power. But the Turkey will definitely be a beneficial ally in the Balkan region and the Mediterranean region, and we can definitely help them out as well. But that would ultimately drag them into the war, and the Germans will definitely be coming in through here, and they could possibly be invaded, and then that would result in another ally for the Germans if they were to beat Turkey. But Turkey, we can definitely sign lend-leases with them and try to turn them into a democracy. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk is at the helm of it. He is actually the first president and founder of Turkey. So we are definitely going to be watching over Turkish relations soon. Other beneficial allies, we actually have a huge front line that is being held by the Italians. Leadership purges in the Soviet Union. So we have no enemies in this area right here in the Middle East. We are definitely going to be needing these guys over here to watch over the Italians. We have actually this area in Somaliland that is exposed to the Italians, but if we can really destroy this area right here, we can definitely just we wouldn't have to concentrate our troops anywhere else. We would just if we can take out this area with maybe 4, maybe 15 divisions or something like that. We're definitely going to be reinforcing Africa soon, once we get manpower starting to churn up. But we will be placing troops in Africa, and we will definitely be making the area. And if it comes to it, if we actually, depending on how the situation in France happens, we may, if the option does come to us, and hopefully the French will want to do it, we will actually create the Franco-British Union, and that will definitely give us a lot more manpower. It will give us a lot more space in order to manage affairs on our own. But if that does not happen, or if the situation calls for it, then we will definitely not create the Franco-British Union, and we can rely on French African troops to help take care of Italy. But Italy is our main concern in Africa. Main concern in Europe is definitely going to be Germany. So we're going to go ahead and concentrate on building 6 more amphibian class cruisers, and then we can also. Okay, we have renowned battle cruisers. We have the Queen Elizabeth class, Courageous class, aircraft carrier. We are going to build 3 more Queen Elizabeth class. Well, actually, let's go ahead and build 2 more Queen Elizabeth class battleships. And we are going to be importing. We're also going to concentrate on building those civilian factories so we can build more. Encourage the colonial elite. Yep, we're going to be doing that. We also still have control over the Suez Canal. If we can continue to keep influence and military control over the Suez Canal, we will still be in control of the world. But if the Italians do end up taking control of it, we may be at a loss. We also have troops in this area, Malta. We're gonna continue playing this. And there's Jesse Owens. Looks like we have Catalonia definitely almost being split off from from the rest of Republican Spain, but the situation in Spain is still escalating. I think we're gonna watch this for a minute while we wait for our national focuses to load up. We have a naval battle actually occurring off of the coast of Spain. If this actually ends up in a communist victory, that will actually be very, very odd. Mediterranean Bastion has been completed. Protect Suez. That is actually something we want to do. So let's go ahead and go for the Protect Suez. As soon as possible, we may want to invade Iraq. Can these fighters actually protect this area? No, they cannot. We actually do have some bombers in this area, so we will actually place them in Jerusalem. Thank God that we do actually have some troops in Jerusalem. We may actually, these guys over here, and these guys in the Middle East, actually, we will be training them into mountain troops soon. Because mountain troops are better supplied, and they will be able to fight in these areas more efficiently. Saudi Arabia, maybe we can actually justify them I don't know. Let's see how the situation in Turkey is going. We have 22% of the popularity in Turkey by the Democrats. Alright, looks like the fascists are starting to fight back. They are circling around Madrid, but they are definitely probably going to cut off Catalonia. You got Valencia right here, and Granada to the south. Granada is starting to fall. We are seeing a battle right here. We have no intelligence though. We can modify. Alright. King Edward has abdicated. If you were to marry not just a commoner but also a D4C, that was not bad enough. An American. After much soul searching, His Majesty has chosen love over duty and has chosen to abdicate. His younger brother Albert will assume the mantle as King George VI. One that bookmarkers are already taking odds on whether this shy man will make it his own coronation. God save King George VI. So here we go. First head of the Commonwealth and last Emperor of India, still considered the inheritor of a great legacy. Like his father before him, he is a popular figurehead and unifier of the British people. Dispersed industry. Let's go ahead and go for a second level of dispersed industry and continue playing this. And we will definitely be ending this episode in a few minutes in order to make room for the coerced Turkey. Johnny Turkey should know enough to fear our battleships. So if who do we want actually? Would we rather have Greece or would we rather have Turkey? Greece is actually being. Actually, I have a lot of fascist support. Turkey, we are actually already trying to turn to the democracy, and they will definitely be a formidable ally in our hands. The Greeks, because the Turks can actually build an actually big, strong army. The Greeks, I don't know. I know that Philip was actually from Greece. We actually need to assign a general over here. Let's actually assign him Alan Bernard Montgomery. And let's call in got a lot of tank commanders. Alright, let's go ahead and give them Henry Pownall. And then we can definitely assign more troops down there soon. We are also going to go for limited conscription. Okay, we are definitely going to be making some more troops. And we can go ahead and make some more, make 5 of those, and make about 10 of these. And then we can also assign more. So, fortify the rock, coerce Spain, Republican Spain. So this goes for both of them, and just in case either of them win the Civil War. Encouraged colonial elite. And fortify Malta, the Balkan strategy. I think we actually may go down the Balkan strategy. So let's go ahead and fortify Malta, and then we will be going after that one soon. Let's go ahead and continue playing. And let's import oil. Not from the British Raj. I was originally thinking the Raj. And let's import some oil from the United States. United States is very, 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 very big. And let's see what else we can research. We actually have the Halifax Strategic Bomber. Let's go ahead and research the Halifax and then maybe start producing a few strategic bombers in order to bomb out certain areas. And then we could probably capture Norway either by diplomatic or military means, and then they would definitely be serve as a very, very important bombing position. We can definitely station some bombers in Norway and Sweden if Sweden actually wants to join our side, and we could definitely use air bases in these areas for bombing Germany. I think we're going to go ahead and leave it off right there. This has actually been pretty fun. I've always liked Hearts of Iron, and I'm actually looking forward to see how this gameplay turns out. So if you guys like this, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next episode of the United Kingdom Hearts of Iron 4.